All right, class, your teacher is very tired from his marathon and would really like to get some sleep, so we're gonna try and probably fail once again to keep the episode short. Luckily, a lot of really dumb shit happened over the weekend, and we've covered a lot of the more serious aspects of this evil administration lately. And while many of the press briefings and White House roundtables are dealing with serious issues in ways that will probably be catastrophic, the absolute buffoonery was on full display recently from multiple people in the administration, including the big man himself. And take this clip, for example, where Trump was taking questions at an economic meeting and started talking about how great things are going between Russia and Ukraine.
We have a great situation going over there, except for one problem. You got a lot of people dying.
Okay, but before we get into more of the outrageous statements from this administration lately and the news that we might end up on the FBI's most wanted list,
Yikes.
we should let you know that the United States military carried out a lethal Hellfire missile strike on a drug boat that was carrying nearly 4,000 pounds of cocaine that was just miles from U.S. soil. Everyone on board had to be blown to bits.
They had to be?
They simply had to be. It was the only option, as they were heading directly towards Art Basel in Miami, where the drugs would have been snorted by the most insufferable people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Except no, that's not what happened at all. While it is true that a large boat carrying $28 million worth of cocaine was parked within earshot of Miami Beach, and that cocaine was probably going to be snorted by a bunch of finance bros attempting to purchase a personality at Art Basel, instead of being drone striked by Pete Hegseth, the boat was, boarded by the Coast Guard? Investigated? The drugs were seized and the occupants were arrested? No one was blown to bits or killed at all? I don't think so.
Wait.
Sounds impossible. They can do that?
I'm so confused because that would seem to prove that maybe it's excessive, just slightly excessive, to order over 20 lethal strikes on suspected drug traffickers in relatively small vessels in international waters hundreds of miles from the United States. Or that maybe all of these strikes are about something other than stopping the flow of drugs into the United States. I mean, who's to say? And we're not sure if we're ever going to get the full video of that strike with the 11
tap?
people.
Yeah.
And based on the reactions from elected officials who've seen the footage, it's not something that you really want to watch. But now it's kind of important because of how badly the Trump administration and Pete Hegseth's so-called Department of War has been downplaying it. As for Trump, despite saying just days ago that he would certainly release everything,
will you release video of that strike so that the American people can see for themselves what happened?
I don't know what they have, but whatever they have, we'd certainly release, no problem.
he now seems to be placing the burden directly on Hegseth on whether or not to release the full video. But overall, he seems fine with the multiple strikes themselves.
Mr. President, you said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
Whatever they have, we'd certainly release, no problem.
That now says
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
you said that you would have no problem releasing the full bit. Okay, well, Secretary Hegseth,
Whatever Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
he now says it's under review. Are you ordering the secretary to release that full video?
Whatever he decides is okay with me. So every boat we knock out of the water, every boat, we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs. I saw the video. They were trying to turn the boat back to where it could float. And we didn't want to see that because that boat was loaded up with drugs just like everything else.
Of course, others who have seen the footage and aren't evil goblins have spoken about how horrific it is. But there's at least one evil goblin man out there who has been working overtime to spit directly in the face of human decency and champion the fact that the United States is actively committing war crimes in the Caribbean. That goblin's name is Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas.
Yeah, familiar.
Yep, that seems like some evil shit that this evil goblin would do.
Yeah.
He eagerly appeared on multiple news outlets over the weekend to not only defend the strikes, but to encourage more of them. And in one, there's very telling, there's a Freudian slip there where Cotton refers to Donald Trump as President Bush.
It's quite good.
I think President Bush has every power under the Constitution to strike boats in international waters from foreign terrorist-designated organizations.
Did you see any evidence of them trying to use a radio in the video you saw?
Well, I saw lots of evidence of them standing on the boat that had been capsized.
That wasn't my question. Did you see any evidence of them
trying to get it back up, trying to flip it over?
Did you see any evidence of them trying to use a radio?
No, I didn't, John. No, John, but they were clearly not incapacitated. They were not distressed. One guy took his T-shirt off like he was sunbathing. They were trying to get the boat back up and to continue their mission of spreading these drugs all across America.
Isn't it possible that even the act of taking off a T-shirt could have been part of an attempt to get attention for help?
Or it could have been an attempt to signal to another cartel boat to come pick them up and pick up the cargo.
But are you comfortable having the United States target a boat in which you have not seen evidence that it's actually heading to the United States, that it's an imminent threat?
Any boat loaded with drugs that is crewed by associates and members of foreign terrorist organizations that are trying to kill American kids, I think is a valid target. I'm not just comfortable with it. I want to continue it.
I mean, yeah, my life is, it's an endless cycle of the worst fucking shit.
Exactly.
I thought by now things would be better.
No.
But no, it's just the same as it ever was.
Well, this past weekend was also the first Kennedy Center Honors Awards that were handed out since Trump completely took over the famed Performing Arts Center.
And the winner is Kid Rock.
Well, since he took it over, and of course, upon taking over which he had like no interest in it in the first term.
Yeah.
And now he's just like, I don't care. I want my name on literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
He, was like, this term, I'm taking it over. And the first thing he did when it came time for the awards is he ditched the iconic design of the award, a design that has been handed out for the past 40 years because of all those gay rainbows. Can't have those gay rainbows.
What if a straight person wins an award? What are they supposed to do?
It turns them gay when they put the award on.
It does.
Yeah. And now it just looks like a participation medal from a local fun run. I should know. I just got one. Yeah.
Very nice.
And I had to work for this one. The colors of the rainbow, they still exist in the new design, but they're just subtly etched into the face of a literal medal. Before it was like a very unique look. It was like a shape with the rainbows and the gold things on it. And now it is literally just, it looks like an Olympic medal or a marathon medal or anything.
Or a Nobel Prize.
Could be. Also, the family that made the previous awards, they seem pretty bummed out by this. Here's local DC outlet WUSA. The Baturin family has been putting together the awards, also known as laurels, by hand since 1978. We took it from a piece of paper and architectural design from my dad and created what they used for 47 years, said Lori Baturin. Almost half a century. It's emotionally charging and emotional to hear the criticism of things that we made for 47 years. Over 255 of them. They were loved by recipients, the Kennedy Center, and the city of Washington, said James Baturin.
We've been making these medals for over 47 years.
A local business.
The rainbow wasn't gay back then, you see.
Actually, it's right around the same time, but I believe people are saying that this predated the pride flag.
Yeah.
But it was only by a couple of months.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the rainbow being primarily associated with homosexuality happened within our lifetimes.
Yeah, primarily. Yeah, sure.
Like, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, sorry, local tireless artisans creating medals for this national honor. He hated the rainbows, so they got to go. Yeah. But it's not just these awards that he's changing. Trump has frequently referred to the new, currently under renovation, non-woke Performing Arts Center as the Trump Kennedy Center, which is insane. Not just because having Trump's name on it is gross, but it is literally named after a president.
Already.
Yeah.
It's John F. Kennedy's center.
Yeah, he didn't even switch it. He just shoved his name in there on top of it.
No, it's the Trump Kennedy Center.
Yeah. Well, right. So it's still the Kennedy Center, but it's the Trump Kennedy Center.
Brought to you by Donald Trump.
Yeah, which it's almost worse that if he had just changed it to the Trump Center, that'd be one thing. But like having, just one of the most beloved presidents of this country, just shoving his name next to them.
It's awful. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get to the outrageous ceremony this year. But first, here's CNN with more on Trump's takeover of this institution. Trump installed a who's who of loyalists, including new President Richard Grenell, his ambassador to Germany during his first term, who's been reevaluating programming and targeting it for the masses. Grenell has cut the existing staff, hired political allies, and mandated a break-even policy for every performance and facility rental. The president, who unveiled this year's honorees in August, said he was 98% involved in picking the awardees. who would typically be determined through an artist committee, board recommendations, and solicitation of the public, according to one former employee.
Yeah, we usually take a temperature on who's deserving of the award. We run it by a board of directors.
No, I think the president should personally choose who wins.
Mm-hmm. So
John Voight.
Sly Stallone.
He did give Stallone.
He did.
Gave him an award recently. Couldn't even say his name right. Sly Stallone.
He said it right once. This is so we'll get into it, but he gave some awards out on Sunday, and then the full ceremony was Sunday night at the Kennedy Center. But he did this in the Oval Office. They had that back to the Kennedy Center in general. They add that ticket sales to yearly events like the Nutcracker are way down since Trump loyalists took over and started announcing changes, and that some artists and musicals have straight up refused to perform there.
Yeah.
So back to the honors, though. The big spectacle will air on TV later this month, but Trump handed out the awards during a White House ceremony earlier in the day to incredible icons like rock band Kiss, Sylvester Sly Stallone,
Yeah, the Tulsa King himself.
disco queen Gloria Gaynor. And just to balance that last name out, he also gave an award to George Strait. So he was whoa.
So we will survive.
Yes. Here's roll. Yeah, obviously that's the Gloria Gaynor one's actually upsetting because she is an LGBTQ icon for the music that she made, and it seems very odd to immediately embrace Trump and
Trump has very gay musical taste.
Well, yeah, he is, as we've all said before on the show, he's a gay man from New York. He loves musicals. He loves. It's odd to see him portrayed as the most masculine thing on earth. But anyways, here's Rolling Stone with more on the ceremony. President Donald Trump gathered the 4 honorees at the Oval Office. The most famous office in the world, the most powerful office in the world, Trump said, and praised the group of icons whose work and accomplishments have inspired, uplifted, and unified millions and millions of Americans. This is perhaps the most accomplished and renowned class of Kennedy Center honorees ever assembled. Kiss, really? I mean,
were they wearing the makeup?
No, they were not, and they look horrific. Obviously,
yeah, they all are.
I mean, they're
hideous.
very old, but they've looked weird since they were young.
Gene Simmons, they wore the makeup for a fucking reason. I'll say that.
But
one of them's hot. I can't remember which one. I think Paul Stanley, but the rest of them are goblins.
No, Paul Stanley looks really weird now. He looks like the villain in The Mask when he puts the mask on.
I think he's had a bunch of
Ace
surgery.
Frehley is the one that died, and I think maybe he was the
he died?
one.
Which one was the cat? Peter Criss?
Dude, don't test me on I literally toured with them, and I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All I remember is making fun of Paul Stanley for sounding clearly was the inspiration of Dr. Roxo, the cocaine clown on Metalocalypse. Because every night on stage, he'd be like, "What's up, Germany? Hey, who wants to come? Who wants to come give me a little kiss? Anybody out there like sex? Anybody like rock and roll?"
I remember very distinctly as a young boy getting into classic rock and liking everything I listened to, and then finally
except Kiss,
and finally making my way to Kiss and being just absolutely bewildered by it. Because you look at them, you're like, oh, this is gonna be some real fucking hardcore shit.
It's like modern Ghost, although I do like Ghost. But the older albums.
I listened to it, I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
First of all, not into it at all. Sorry. And I remain not into it.
Well,
and people who are super into it, I am I don't know. I feel like there's something going on there.
If you ask my dad right now what he thought and all of his friends thought of Kiss when they were in high school, he would, because first of all, his brain's stuck in when he was 40, so it's the 90s. Yeah. Every reference is a 90s thing. So he would, if he was standing right here, he'd say, "What did you think of Kiss?" "Oh my God. Oh, they were awful. They were like the Backstreet Boys of when I was growing up." No, it was rock and roll music for girls or whatever.
They're not cool. I feel like their fan base is primarily dorks.
They have been kind of glazed over in history as more iconic than I think that they really were. But they were,
they were just the first band to
I believe MC5 would be a better representation of
Detroit? Yeah. Fucking Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
The Stooges.
And modern would be Jack White. Or
no, there are Eminem. There are probably hundreds.
Well,
more
all of
artists
Motown and
we're just listing white people.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear about
Motown. Yeah. So yes, this is definitely spitting in the face of a lot of stuff.
Anyway, they add that the actual ceremony will air later this month on CBS, which is a television network that gave Trump a bunch of money and hired I don't know. They're really bending over backward for this man. This is a network that is owned by Paramount, which is owned by Larry Ellison's large adult son, David Ellison, after he acquired it with approval from Trump's FCC head, Brendan Carr. And now that newly mutated Paramount Skydance megacorp has also attempted a hostile bid to acquire Warner Brothers after Netflix won an already controversial bidding war just last week. They're not taking no for an answer.
Yeah.
Saying, why don't I own this? I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So that was a lot. We'll get to that details of all that in a second. But like we said, attempting a shorter video today, going to try to throw in the greatest ad read ever right here, and then we'll get back into the news for you. Today's sponsor is it's Tushy. It's Tushy. I used mine right before I came here.
Yeah, just for a little pick-me-up.
Yeah, I didn't even, I just had a few minutes.
All right.
You can never be too clean.
You're not wrong.
Tushy is the maker of our favorite product of all time, the Tushy Bidet. A-hole, stuffing slot, gravy spout, Santa's coal hole. They're only naughty words if you wipe your butt with paper.
Like an idiot.
Your friend who's experiencing a full body betrayal in the bathroom doesn't want a beard oil kit, so give them daily dignity and endless luxury that they'll actually use with a Tushy Bidet. It fits perfectly in a stocking. A big stocking.
Say to your friend, hey, you Neanderthal, get a clean ass.
Yeah, I can smell you from across the room, buddy.
Whether you're shopping for a bro, a CEO, a daddy, an activist, or someone who lights their farts on fire, give the gift that refuses to pick a lane. A bidet from Tushy. The best part, aside from having the cleanest butthole in town, is that Tushy looks like it's supposed to be a part of your toilet already.
It's stealth.
So it won't weird out the in-laws unless they, take it for a spin, and then their lives will be changed forever.
Yeah.
They never leave after Christmas. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. Instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient, fresh water. Installation's simple. Takes about 10 minutes to complete. Literally anyone can do it.
Tushy Bidet gives you 2-in-1 benefits, reducing irritation and preventing micro tears with soothing water instead of scratchy toilet paper or damaging wet wipes. People who have made the switch to Tushy use up to 80% less TP. No more clogged toilets. Every Hello Tushy Bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. Remember, a-hole is only a naughty word if you wipe. For a limited time, our viewers get 10% off their first bidet order when you use the code ITDaily at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code ITDaily.
All right, back to the news now, and I guess it's good that we didn't do too deep of a dive into the Netflix Warner Brothers acquisition last week because, well, things might have changed. First of all, it has to pass regulatory scrutiny, which in this administration is a bit wonky, but also everything just kind of feels hopeless right now, and David Zaslav doesn't give a shit about the company's legacy.
No.
He spent years destroying the brand, sold it off to the highest bidder, and will be taking his millions and then just hopefully fucking off forever.
No. Somehow David Zaslav will return.
That's right. At least he thought that he had sold it to the highest bidder, though, because despite announcing the acquisition of Warner Brothers by Netflix for around $82 billion, which I think it's very funny, someone pointed this out, that Netflix acquired, if this were to go through, Netflix acquired Warner Brothers for the same amount of money that Mark Zuckerberg lost attempting the metaverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, David Ellison, he said, wait, no, hold on. I'm friends with Donald Trump. And also, I've apparently got Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, working on this deal with me for some reason, and I'm going to offer you an extra $20 billion on top to sweeten this deal. Netflix was bad. That was a bad idea. This would be so much worse because in the initial deal, it looks like CNN and a few others weren't part of that
That's
initial
the thing.
deal.
They're doing a bigger number, but Netflix, Ellison's offering to buy the entire company, and Netflix is like, we don't want CNN or any of these other broadcast things.
Yeah.
So they're buying basically like for what they're getting, they're paying more.
They're kind of getting what the old Warner Brothers was, like a film studio.
Yeah.
And a television production
basically,
studio.
we'll give you $82 million for everything except CNN and all that other shit, and then you're going to make way more money on that other deal.
Yeah, good luck.
That other stuff.
So this new bid might include CNN, which would give the Ellisons control of 2 major news outlets, something that seemed very interesting to people in the White House this weekend. Here's CNN with some reporting where it sounds like they're writing their own obituary.
On Sunday evening, Trump declared he'd be involved with the regulatory decisions on whether to allow a proposed sale of the company to Netflix, which announced a $72 billion deal to buy a large part of Warner Bros. Discovery last week. They add that White House officials have privately mused that a Paramount acquisition could mean a CNN newsroom led by journalist and commentator Barry Weiss, who recently took the helm at Paramount-owned CBS, which they viewed as a favorable outcome. The president has told advisors he would support a leadership change at the cable network, which has frequently drawn his ire. It would certainly be advantageous for Trump if WB were acquired by Paramount, and while that would seem corrupt on its own, what really sends it over the edge, the corrupt edge, is the fact that, of all people, Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, will apparently be involved in the deal.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I've planned out how Trumpville on the Gaza Strip's going to look. Mm-hmm. Now I can focus on helping the Ellisons acquire Warner Brothers.
Hi, my next mission from
It's Jared Kushner. I want to buy your company. Oh, I don't have my own money. I have money from the Saudis.
Yeah.
Trump lets him have sex with Ivanka.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do it tonight, sir?
Only if you get the deal done. Only if you get the deal done.
Anyway, here's Reuters.
Jared Kushner's financing role in Paramount's $108 billion bid for Warner Bros. Discovery injects Trump family interests into one of the biggest media battles in years, raising concerns over whether the president's influence could tip the scales. You think? Paramount said its offer includes financing from Kushner's investment firm, Affinity Partners, along with financing from the Saudi and Qatari sovereign wealth funds and Limad Holding Company, owned by Abu Dhabi.
Cool, very cool.
I love this deal. We love this deal, don't we, folks? This is making Netflix look amazing in comparison.
We need more investment in major institutions, major American institutions by Gulf monarchs.
Yep. And Jared Kushner.
Yeah.
Trump told reporters on Monday that he has not spoken with Kushner about Warner Brothers Discovery, adding that neither Netflix nor Paramount are friends of mine. Both Paramount and Netflix are likely to face intense antitrust scrutiny to ensure consumers, rivals, and suppliers are not hurt by any tie-up bullshit, giving the government a big say in who ultimately buys Warner Brothers Discovery.
I mean, they're both like full of antitrust red flags.
Oh, yeah.
But Paramount is objectively a bigger antitrust risk than
Clearly,
Netflix.
Especially with the deal that was in place for Netflix. It was a lot simpler. Now, does that mean that Trump would have pulled, he would have been more serious about regulations if it was Netflix? Probably. Would he be a lot less serious if it's Paramount? Maybe. We'll have to see. But yes, both of them would be bad.
Either way, even more people in this fucking hellhole city are going to lose their jobs. And, it's bad.
Yeah, it is very bad. Questions about whether Kushner has benefited from his father-in-law's presidency have been raised before.
What do you mean?
Trump this year proposed that the U.S. should clear the war-torn Gaza Strip and develop it as an international beach resort, echoing an idea floated by Kushner, who was a property developer in New York before Trump's first term.
Oh, so he would know how to do that.
Affinity Partners enjoyed a cash influx from Middle Eastern investors last year, as Trump was seeking re-election. All things that are unsuspicious.
We should let them control the entire media.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just give them the whole thing.
Just to see what happens.
See what they could do with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that the guy who is married to Trump's daughter and the father of his grandchildren is probably working with and for Trump in many capacities.
And you shouldn't take Trump at his word when he says, I haven't even heard
Jared
it.
who?
Yeah.
All that is to say that any of these deals will result in a worse product, less jobs, higher prices, But it's actually legitimately dangerous for Paramount specifically to own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, who the hell knows?
It's just, outside of this acquisition in particular, it's just so brazen that Skydance just acquired a legacy, multi-decade company.
They just got one and they're already trying to grab another one?
Yeah, that would be like half of the entire town in 1 year.
And this is already over the past, less than a decade, the amount of consolidation in the entertainment industry has been kind of insane.
I get why, outlets pull up the fact that, there's regulations that should stop this. even during Biden and Obama, like the monopoly regulations were not being utilized.
Yeah, they allowed a lot of deals that
Yeah.
maybe shouldn't have been allowed to go through.
Ugh.
But moving on, here's another America update. This time regarding those pesky tariffs. Trump just announced a $12 billion bailout for American farmers who have been struggling as a result of his tariffs. And he claims that this bailout will be funded entirely by profits from the tariffs.
Oh!
So what did we get? Nothing, essentially. We moved the money around, I guess.
I will say when this all shakes out, it's probably less than nothing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So quiet, piggies. There's a fucking genius at work here in the White House.
Check out the big
Quiet,
brain on
piggies.
on Trump. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah, he snapped at another reporter today, too.
Yeah.
He does it often, and it's always a woman or a black person.
Yeah, no, it's...
Or both.
I mean,
A black woman.
He's always been a bit demented, but there is something to be said about the snappiness. It's kind
It's
of a
happened
new
a
thing.
lot.
It's kind of a new thing. And
very recently.
if you consult the medical literature, it does correlate with certain trends that happen to a lot of elderly people.
That's why his handlers, Marco Rubio, lets him fall asleep during those meetings.
Yeah, it's just
like
better,
I'd rather have him be
It's
asleep.
better for him to get his rest.
Yeah,
You don't want to...
when he's sleeping, he's not yapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Trump, he's got this. He saved the farmers. Well, I mean, he's kind of just putting them back where they were before he fucked the farmers.
Yeah, he's saving
But,
them from the problems that he created.
Yeah.
very
so
gracious.
he's a
of him.
hero.
Yeah.
And we salute him.
This money would not be possible without tariffs. The tariffs are taking in, hundreds of billions of dollars, and we're giving some up to the farmers because they were mistreated by other countries for, I don't know, maybe right reasons, maybe wrong reasons. They weren't. They were trying to show us something, and it's really worked out really well.
Okay, actually, one more Trump-adjacent one for you, because you do have to hear this incredible quote from Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who wanted to talk about mommy milkers and how good that shit is. Blah, 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 blah.
All of the ingenuity of corporate America, all the resources, all the resourcefulness has not produced an infant formula that is superior in nutrition and all the qualities that we want to the infant formula that God made, which is the infant formula in a mother's breast.
Yeah, he did that with Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who was like, first of all, he's like, everyone should dress up when they fly. And also, they should put free gyms at all airports. So you get in there, you get a fucking pump on, you put your suit back on, you get on the plane. Everyone on the plane is...
Dude, I do not want to be on an airplane with a bunch of people who just fucking worked out.
Even
God
if they
damn it.
hadn't worked out, everyone on that plane wearing suits would bring the temperature up so much. And also, it's just uncomfortable. I'm sorry, flying is not the luxurious experience that you seem to think it is or have access to. Because
No.
for everyone else, I literally want to wear sweatpants and a sweatshirt and just hide.
Yeah, I wear the most comfortable, loose-fitting clothes I can find when I fly. Yeah. How much time are you spending at the gym with like nothing to do, or at the airport with nothing to do? Where you like have 45 minutes to 90 minutes for a quick pump. I don't understand.
These people hate walkable cities and they love airports. They're like, wow, why don't I go to the airport 7 hours early? Everything's there. They've got shops.
I mean,
a bookstore.
I have become an early airport guy.
I have a little
as an adult, because I've had too many close calls as a younger, just like, let's cut this as close as possible. You have like a few scares and you're just like, you know what? Who cares? Show up an hour early. Like,
I get why dads
your whole
do it
day's fucking ruined either way.
I get why dads do it too, because I've seen my friends, you don't know how long that process is going to take. The kids and the wife, you don't know. So that's why you start 5 hours early. And if everything goes well, everyone's bored at the airport.
Yeah, I showed up super early for the day before Thanksgiving flight in Burbank, and TSA was like less than 5 minutes. So I'm like, all right,
plenty of time.
I guess I'm hanging out at Guy Fieri's Grill for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I just sat there and had a 10 a.m. Coors Light, 20-ounce Coors Light, and read a book for like
Coors Light
90 minutes. I just had one.
Okay.
Just one big beer, light beer. It's Coors Light. It's basically water.
Did you do a shot of donkey sauce to wash it down?
No. No.
Anyways, flying sucks. But in other news, we have almost certainly been snubbed once again when it comes to the Streamy Awards, the Webbies, or the FIFA Peace Prize.
We are persecuted men.
That's right. But there is still time for us to make Santa's naughty list. And by Santa, we mean Trump. And by naughty list, we mean a list of domestic terrorists being compiled by Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are all domestic terrorists.
A list that, of course, targets people expressing, quote, opposition to law and immigration enforcement, extreme views in favor of mass migration and open borders, adherence to radical gender ideology, as well as anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity, which,
I think you're going to be rounding up a lot of people. I don't think you fully grasp how big of a problem you're dealing with here.
This is absolutely illegal, and they're going to target whoever they specifically want because a lot of these are just incredibly broad.
What's
this
the
is
crime?
McCarthyism 2.0.
What is the charge?
Eating a delicious Chinese meal? Well, guilty.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and really, this is a presidential enemies list. And you know who else had a presidential enemies list?
Our greatest president of the 20th century, Richard Milhouse Nixon.
California, born and raised.
Yeah, one of two California presidents. Both of them just absolute fucking evil pieces of shit.
Yep. And by the way, I don't know if you guys remember, we gave Nixon's paranoid ass the boot.
Yeah, back when people had shame.
Yeah.
Wouldn't happen again today.
Yeah.
I mean, as we saw, Trump's already been impeached, 2, 3 times?
And he's becoming more and more paranoid, too.
Yeah.
Trump, though, he seems to just get away with almost anything. So this is a little scarier.
Nixon at least had the excuse of being a raging alcoholic.
Sure.
He was wandering around the White House, talking to fucking ghosts of former presidents.
Sure, but I will be fascinated to see once the dust settles and we someday see the truth of what his drug cocktail daily is, Trump's.
True. Yeah.
But anyways, here's FOIA King, Ken Klippenstein, with more.
In addition to compiling a list of undesirables, Bondi directs the FBI to enhance the capabilities and publicity of its tip line in order to more aggressively solicit tips from the American public on, other Americans. To that end, Bondi also directs the FBI to establish a cash reward system for information leading to identification and arrest of leadership figures within these purported domestic terrorist organizations. The memo later instructs the FBI to establish cooperators to provide information and eventually testify against other members of the group.
It's literally McCarthyism.
The payouts don't end there. Justice Department grants are now to prioritize funding to programs for state and local law enforcement to go after domestic terrorism. And if you were thinking that domestic terrorists might include conservatives who commit literal acts of violence and terrorism for a political goal, no! I mean, maybe, but it certainly doesn't appear to be a priority.
No. In a section titled Defining the Domestic Terrorism Threat, the memo cites extreme viewpoints on immigration, radical gender ideology, and anti-American sentiment. Indicators that federal law enforcement are instructed to refer to FBI Joint Terrorism Task Forces. The memo also directs the FBI and JTTFs to retroactively investigate incidents going back 5 years.
What?
Authorizing the JTTFs in particular to use everything at their disposal to do so. And this is this is going down the scale of you're just picking people that are against the administration and potentially targeting them with trumped up charges. He's already doing that with major officials and judges and elected officials with his weird mortgage fraud thing that has not worked so far. And I believe it's either Politico or ProPublica. They pulled up Trump's records and they're like, he's done this.
Yeah.
And he did it again with someone recently.
Yeah, he would know. He would know about all these.
There was another anti-Trump person, and he was like, "Oh, it looks like you have 2 residencies, and you did a little mess up on the paperwork."
Which even if it's not the biggest deal. You owe money that you should have paid, but it's not really criminal unless it goes beyond
based on how
a simple mistake.
Based on how ubiquitous this seems to be, it seems to be like a literal loophole for rich people that they have been getting away with until Trump pointed it out to put pressure on them.
Well, it's that, and it's just fucking government forms and taxes in this country they're confusing as hell.
A person that would own 2 homes probably has someone that's doing that for them.
You would think.
And it's just like, I can't read all this mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, that's why you hire an account.
Anyway, yeah, maybe they did something wrong. It's just very rich that Trump has also done that and is like, gotta get him.
Even that's like still technically a charge. Like this is just so like, what are you in for? I liked some posts by the Party for Socialism and Liberation on Instagram, and therefore am a terrorist.
Yeah,
like I
attended the No Kings rally.
A judge still has to like look at this, and I feel like, you know, even the sad state of the justice system in this country, they'd be like, why are you wasting my time with this fucking shit? Also, there's like, what are you gonna arrest like tens of millions of people?
They're just going to arrest whoever they want and figure out the charges later. This is just more...
I guess. I mean, they definitely... I wouldn't put it past them to, like, severely inconvenience and, like, put a target on specific people that they want to fuck with. But, like, this is so obviously fucking unconstitutional and illegal that, like, I don't think it's got... I don't think it has legs to it, especially at this point. They might have gotten away with it like 9 months ago, but like I feel like the window of
maybe that's why they're trying
this kind
it
of
now.
shit.
Maybe they had this one sitting and waiting to be, and they're like, oh shit,
yeah,
things are quite literally falling apart.
This is some shit
because it is Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, 2 people who are on the outs.
Well, they're trying to impress the boss.
This might be their final thing that impresses the boss.
Yes, it's like his Trump's approval right now.
Oh, and then
very bad.
And
like,
then
I don't think this is gonna go.
I said this is gonna be a short episode, but then again, and it also came out this week that I guess Kash Patel, one of his girlfriend's drunk friends,
he has them escort them home,
and he had them like escort them home.
Yeah, like
not
even his girlfriend, his girlfriend's friends who needed like a ride home from the club,
and the girlfriend told them to drive her home, and they said no, that's not protocol. And she said, I'm gonna call my boyfriend Kash. Yeah, it was fuck. What is going on? It's insane.
It's clownish.
Obviously, they're getting extremely desperate while clearly juggling multiple scandals of their own creation. But it is still shocking to see how rapid this descent into fascism is, while honestly feeling pretty helpless to do anything about it outside of making you all aware of how not normal this is.
Yeah, it's not how any of this shit's supposed to work.
No. But if you'd like to learn a whole hell of a lot more about what's been going on at the Pentagon, because, okay, so in October, they put out a thing that was the press corps had to sign in order to get access to the DOD. And so all of the major press companies did not sign it.
Yeah, now it's a bunch of influencers.
Now it's like Laura Loomer, Matt Gaetz for some reason, and a bunch of other like right-wing influencers.
From, like, Tim Pool's show.
Yeah, there's a Fearless TV guy who we'll get to. But so if you want to know just what's going on with that, one of my favorite podcasts, OnTheMedia, did a whole episode about the boat strikes and the Department of Defense press change.
Department of War!
Yeah, Department of War. And in the episode, he speaks with people who have worked there previously and also talks to one of like the crazy right-wing people who are in there now. And it's just fascinating to hear like both angles of this. It's a pretty testy interview, but it's fantastic work Micah Lowinger did on this episode. So like, again, this is an NPR show. It's on the media, but it's
a good show.
They focus on the way that the media is covering things. It's an interesting way to look at it. But I highly suggest checking that out. In the meantime, we have a weird news episode that you can watch. There's probably some animal stuff that's fun in there.
There's some raccoons.
There we go.
One drunk raccoon, one rabid raccoon.
Maybe they'll meet one day.
No, one of them died.
Oh.
So no.
Maybe they'll meet in raccoon heaven.
Maybe they will.
Yeah. Give that raccoon the Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we have episodes you can watch over there. Please like the video. Please leave a comment, reply to a comment, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and we will see you soon. Bye. Bye.